I've come to sort of fight it, but I've just, when you hear something, you can't get it out of your conscious mind very easily. I do have both my Jupiter and my Saturn in detrimental placements. So I have my Jupiter in Virgo, where Jupiter doesn't really like to be in Virgo because Jupiter is all about the big picture, is all about optimism, and let's go here, let's travel here, let's, explore luck, let's be very carefree with, all those things, and luck just sort of comes. But with Virgo, and what Jupiter expands is just the mundane, everyday tasks, habits, patterns, over and over again, and it can get very, very stuck into the little details of things. And I mean, this can, I found this within just things having to do with, work, jobs, tasks, but sometimes it can be very difficult to separate that out through entertainment. I was analyzing my experience last weekend, my grandpa's birthday party, or, just a birthday celebration. And I was analyzing, just overanalyzing my state of mind, how I felt, my attitude, behavior sort of thing at that time. And so, Virgo is very, it's very high-strung energy, very OCD energy. It's very obsessive-compulsive, and it can be picky, and not the most grounded. Virgo is definitely very practical and knows a lot of logical things, but it's very mental. It's like an air sign, but it's an earth sign. So, I was looking at my chart, and I think that there were probably a couple of squares to Jupiter, and squares are not very easy aspects by any means. They're very challenging aspects. And I have my, Jupiter, which is growth and expansion, in a place where it can be very, very hard to sort of grow out of the mundane and the details. And therefore, because Virgo is square to Sagittarius, which Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter also rules Pisces. So Jupiter in Pisces is divine connection, faith in a higher power, letting go, trusting the universe, trusting the mystics and magics, giving spiritual wisdom, all the things related to Pisces in Jupiter, which is incredibly lucky placement in Jupiter and Sagittarius. Loves to gamble, travel, learn, grow, all those types of things. But Sagittarius is square to Virgo, and Jupiter rules Pisces. And any placement that is opposite what rules that placement is considered its detriment. So I have my Jupiter in detriment. So I guess you could say that I have a sort of like a dud type Jupiter. Now, my Saturn placement. So Saturn traditionally rules Capricorn. It also rules Aquarius. But Uranus was discovered, and it's the modern ruler of Aquarius. So Saturn rules Capricorn. Discipline, structure, organization, climbing up to the mountain and achieving different things. So many things. So it's very, very strong in Capricorn. But I have my Saturn in Cancer, which is the opposite sign to Capricorn, and it's incredibly difficult placement. And Saturn, as it is, rules obstacles and rules the hard work that has to be put into dealing with your greatest kryptonite in life. And I happen to have Saturn in its detriment, which is Cancer. So that means, and both of these placements indicate that I may have to work harder to, achieve the Saturn gold at the top of the mountain. To, in this case with Cancer, get nurtured, feel nurtured, nurturing others, taking care of others, expressing the emotions, because maturity is being able to deal with the emotions in a very grown-up, mature, and wise way. And Jupiter in Virgo, I heard this from a couple astrologers, and I'm just going to say it. Jupiter in Virgo is not as lucky as the other Jupiter placements. I'm going to name it and claim it. Because, Jupiter in Virgo, you have to work harder to get luck, because it comes from doing things, getting things done, organization, all those types of things. And indeed, luck is harder to feel when Jupiter is in Virgo. And, with a person with Jupiter in Virgo, and indeed, things will have to be done to where they can feel more lucky, like, they're enjoying their lives more with Jupiter in Virgo. So, it can be challenging. It's not the easiest of positions. And Saturn as well, really having to work very, very hard and accomplish so many pitfalls, so many discouragements, this and that, especially if it's in the opposite sign as it rules. And Cancer is all about emotional feeling and expression. And Saturn is the planet that rules restriction and setbacks, and so it restricts emotions. It restricts the emotional connections to give to people, which can be very, very difficult. Receiving from people, feeling your feelings, it can suppress and sort of, possibly numb down the emotions with the feelings of not feeling the most nurtured. So it's sort of a closed off placement. Now, and then other things with the other planets.